You're commuting home with Katz and Cosby. Now, here's John Katzimatidis and Rita Cosby on 77 WABC.
And joining us now is former Deputy National Security Advisor under President Trump, KT McFarland, here on Katz and Cosby. KT, we have Judge Weinberg, Craig Eaton, and also Ed Cox here in the studio. You know, KT, next week, it's the 75th anniversary of NATO. There's all these different leaders coming into town, at least a lot of ministers and ambassadors and others. It comes at a time where people are concerned. There was a new poll that said 3/4 of Americans don't feel Biden should run again. And they're nervous about him being in the room with world leaders when the world seems like it's on fire.
Well, the world is on fire. And the problem is that now we're entering a very dangerous period because Biden clearly has dementia. He's not in charge. It's his aides who are running everything. Will he run? Will he not? But it doesn't really matter because the world, especially the bad guys in the world, are looking at the United States and saying, for the next 7 months, they're in turmoil. This is when we want to make our move, in part because they figure that Donald Trump will come in January of 25, and he'll be tough. He'll be tough on Russia. He'll be tough on China. He'll really be tough on Iran. And so they're all thinking, this is my moment of opportunity. I better get it done. But the other question that I've been scratching my head about is, with the Bidens, you always want to follow the money. So a couple of questions, and maybe even Ed Cox knows the answer. What happens to the hundreds of millions of dollars that Joe Biden has collected for his campaign if he does not run for re-election? Can he give that to the next candidate?
I'd say no.
Only the vice president can use it, not no one else. Which puts Harris in a very unique position.
Which puts America in a unique position.
That's a very scary
America,
position.
we got a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
So if she's the only one who can use it, what happens if she doesn't run? Where does that money go?
They've got to raise, whoever is candidate would have to raise it all over again. And
where does the money go? Take KT's point. Yeah, where would all the war chest go?
Don't know.
Oh, that's interesting, but it doesn't go to the candidate.
It can only go, apparently, it does not go with the candidate. I mean, it can't go with the Democrat candidate for president.
No.
It is only to Biden and to Kamala Harris. And
right.
if neither of them are running, then it can be given back, hundreds of millions of dollars, or it could be given to a not-for-profit. So what a great not-for-profit, the Biden Library. I think if Biden is going to go, and if Biden goes, it's going to be with a really big golden parachute. He's going to require that he not be prosecuted for any crime.
So you raised
his extended family.
You raised a good question, Katie. What can go wrong in the next 7 months while Biden is still president but incapacitated? Where do you think the problems will be?
So here would be number one. Ukraine, the Russians would start using more lethal weapons. In Iran, they'll probably declare they're a nuclear weapons state. The entire Middle East into even more turmoil.
Wow.
China will make a move on Taiwan. I don't think they make a military move. They're not that dumb, but they could make an economic move. So to basically tell countries, Taiwan is ours, and Taiwan, if you want to fight, we've already shown you we have the ability to vanquish you, and then to go to all the countries that trade with Taiwan and China and say, who do you want to trade with? You want to trade with China? Or do you want to go with Taiwan? And then the other thing is that all of our allies are going to have to be recalculating. Who they want to, if China's making people choose between China and the United States, who should they choose? A Joe Biden, or should they choose a Donald Trump? A Donald Trump's America. But the question is the United States going to be able to act? And I think with the current division and turmoil in the country, an incapacitated president, an incompetent vice president, a candidate for president who knows how to get the job done, but he's not elected yet. This is a golden moment of opportunity for every adversary to make its move. It's now or never.
Craig Eaton.
KT, if we lose this election, I don't know where we go from here. I mean, the world is over. A general came on the radio a few weeks ago, and he said in his 50 or 60 years in the military, he has never seen a time in history where there was so many conflicts around the world. I mean, we are in uncharted territory right now. And if we can't solve these problems now, where do we go from here?
Well, I do think we have never faced peer competitors like China, China and Russia combined since really before World War II. And even then, it was the whole Western world and democracy against the axis of evil. Now, who would stand with us? Not clear. The Europeans have largely disarmed, thinking that they didn't need weapons. The United States would always protect them. And anyway, they were going to trade with Russia and China, so why would they have weapons? They would have trading partners, not military adversaries. So it's hard to think who our allies are. Now, look, I think that Donald Trump can turn this around extremely quickly. Yep. He'll drill, baby, drill. He'll bring down the price of oil. That bankrupts Russia. That bankrupts Iran. They can't fight any wars, even if they want to. And he'll be tough on China, understanding that for China needs to sell to us more than we need to buy from them. So President Trump, if reelected, could use the weapon of tariffs to get conciliatory, to get what we want out of China.
And final question, KT from Ed Cox.
If there's any proxy of Iran that's ready to go, it's Hezbollah with their 150,000 super missiles that the Iron Dome may not be able to fend off like they did the smaller stuff from Hamas. What do you think would happen if Hezbollah went all in? And their militia is battle hardened and ready to go because of what they did in Syria.
Yeah, and they're far better armed. I think Iran is making this calculation as we speak. They're in the middle of a presidential election. Whoever wins is the same policy. And they're calculating, okay, there's three things going for Iran right now. Number one, they're rich thanks to Biden's energy policy. Two, the United States under Biden is walking away from Israel, right, because Biden wants those Muslim voters in two key states. And three, again, it's this narrowing window of opportunity. I think that you start seeing a bigger confrontation in the Middle East as Hezbollah joins the fray.
Yeah, really scary stuff. And to think that we have a president who there are so many questions about right now. Like you said, the next few months are really a very dangerous time for this country. KT McFarland, thank you for joining us. We love you, KT.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.